Thanks for staying with us. So about an hour ago, we saw a story that really caught our attention about helps. According to this report or this blog, a nanny was apprehended for performing sexual activities on a 1-year-old boy. According to the story, the mother had put a CCTV camera around the house. And that's how she was able to discover what this help, who was brought in from Cotonou, was doing to her child. Now, when I read the story, I had goosebumps because I don't have CCTV cameras in my house. And I keep thinking to myself, could this be me? You know, although I know I have good people living with me, but you just never know. So this is a story that caught our attention and we thought was important for us to discuss it. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, especially those of us who have had these kinds of experiences where we caught helps who are supposed to be assisting us in one thing or the other, and we can actually be a source of help to others to deter them from falling into that kind of situation. You can call us on the numbers on your screen, 08127053687. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. This is a really painful situation. When I think of a 1-year-old, I'm thinking of a baby. Like,
that is a baby. In fact, the story says she would take off his diapers to perform these things on him orally. And you know what is even shocking is the madam says that she's so nice and so hardworking. She's never had any cause to even have any issues with her concerning the work. She really liked her. She has this humble, quiet demeanor. So she's not someone that you may, you know, there are some people you just feel that, oh, the way she's raising her head or raising her shoulder, she must be, but this one is supposed to be a good worker. She's doing her job well. And if not for that CCTV, she wouldn't have caught that she was, I mean, she's a child molester. But also, interestingly, is that this girl is not 18 yet. So she's also I mean, in our own way, she's also a minor. And we know teenagers and all their teenage whatever, who knows where she is coming from, who has abused her. And so, because we don't really go, the way we bring helps into our homes, it's not like we go to any professional body. We don't really know these people.
Deep check.
Someone just tells us, oh, this person is good, this person can work. And we'll leave our most precious treasures with them, our children. We will lock our room so that they don't steal your gold, they don't steal your watches, but then you leave your biggest treasure, your child, with these people. It's so shocking. I mean, I have goosebumps because I saw her face. She's a young girl. She really looks like she'll be a nice person. But look at what she's done. I don't know where, what the parents will now do from here. Do we punish? How would they punish her?
Yeah,
Put her in a remand home or something like that?
Let me, what have you...
You know, I feel this is child molestation is something that can happen from anybody. It could even be your relative. I remember there was someone years ago, and came around in the morning and said, oh, we've not had sleep throughout the night. I said, what happened? Said one of the uncles, the man of the house, the younger brother, did some things to the daughter. All right. At that time, the daughter must have been maybe 5 or something, And this is an uncle they leave the children with, feeling that you're safe, you're secure. So now when you now have issues with those you bring in, it's a big
because
problem.
Sometimes there's always that guilt part where a mother feels, I brought you in.
Yes.
I should have done what I should do to make sure that I bring in the right person. But now she can also blame herself. And these are things that we always take it on, that it was my fault. I didn't do a proper background check. I didn't verify where she's coming from. But again, as Miriam said, she's a young girl. Now, in this kind of situation, you expect that somebody who is young will be more of a companion than a predator to a child. But first of all, she shouldn't even be having under 18 in the house. We must also acknowledge that, because it's against the law to have anybody under 18 in your house. That in itself. So maybe that's another issue. Maybe if she had gotten somebody slightly older, maybe more mature, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure age has anything to do with molestation, because you see what I found out, is that with help, a lot of them, the mentality is like, we're coming to struggle. We are not part of you. You're not part of us. This is just a job. When it's December, I just want to be gone. All right? And I don't care the kind of service. I mean, we once had a house help whom, even the way she handles things in the kitchen, it was frightening. You go to the toilet, you just come back, the same spoon you've used in stirring the food for the dog, you just want to, without washing, or just have something separate. So what I'm trying to say is, some of this house help or helpers, they're not coming with that sense of your mind, we are one.
Yes.
So it's that sense of, I'm an outsider and I can do whatever it is.
I don't even have a problem. Yes, you can decide you want to be an outsider, but there are just some things that you cannot cross. And for me, molestation is a big no-no. I don't care if you feel like you're part of a family or not. And as you mentioned, it's not just helps that we bring into our home. Sometimes it happens with family members. Now, I'm just trying to think, how do you handle this as a mother, now watching your CCTV camera and realizing that you have brought a monster into your home? You have endangered your child and your family. We would say maybe the child is a year old, so the child may not remember. But I'm also thinking of this 17-year-old who is a molester already, and I'm sure she has been molested. What does our justice system look like in a situation like this? Do we lock her up, or do we now start investigating to see how she would have come about this?
Do we help her find help?
Yes, or put her in a proper home. But in whose home will she be going for the help? Will she be going from prison for help, or will she be going from her home? What would make me feel confident? What would make me feel justified now that I've found you a rapist in my home, but yet you're a child?
Yeah, I like to ask this question. So if we're setting her up maybe with a therapist or something to help her, so what punity are we still giving her to let her know that you've done something wrong?
So we're not judge and jury in this. That's why we have a justice system for these kind of things. And that's where, you see, we need to go to the court, just to get in the police. You need to go to the court to know how far, what can they do, what's the best judgment you can get. However, it's not for us, it's not in our place as a people to say, okay, well, we must lock you up or we must beat you up. It's not really in our place. But however, what I wanted to happen, what you said, is that this is a child who has just molested another child. Aside from what the law says, she's also damaged. So there's one thing to take her, because we don't want her going to somebody else's house tomorrow and doing the same thing. So for a more long-term solution is, how do we ensure that she gets the therapy, like you said, and she's healed of whatever damage she already came with? Aside from the legal part of get her arrested, there's got to be some kind of a way to help this child, because she's also a child, to be able to come around from this bad behavior.
Yeah, because she still has so many years ahead of her.
Yeah.
So possibly, if she gets the help that she needs.
Well, Mariam, would we be talking about
exactly.
that?
I'm getting there. I am getting there, Mariah, because I'm thinking that I don't want to, if it happens to me, I don't want to know. I don't want to know what help she gets. I don't want to, I just want to make sure that she is out of my vicinity. Yeah. But I want to thank the woman that this happened to, because many times we would not have heard about this. They would have just asked her to pack her bag. In some cases, maybe they'll beat her mercilessly and they'll send her away, but would never know. And then, as you said, she'll be repackaged for another family, going from one family to the other and causing havoc. Meanwhile, creating even more havoc for her own life. So I'm happy that they did that. So we know that, I think, is in Ondo State, the governor's wife.
She's Ekiti?
Ekiti
State.
Sorry, she's a big proponent for, sexual and gender-based violence. And I know that the state, they have like a sex offenders list.
Yes.
So she has to be on that list.
No, you know they're the former governor now. But
oh yes, former governor. But she has. But it's something that I believe is currently in the state that they run in the state. But it has to be, her name has to be on a list like that. But because of the way we employ helps, do we go, we have to now start thinking of going about it
Proper
professionally,
background check.
so that people who are on the sex offenders list would not find their way into our homes.
Right.
Or we're able to see a name or see a passport, see a picture, Google a name, and able to find out if that person has any criminal record, if
Right.
the person is not allowed to work with children, if the person is currently seeing a therapist for sex addictions and things like that.
All right, let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a few calls because I'd really like to hear from Nigerians out there who have probably experienced
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.